The nation watched with bated breath as every newscast and headline brought fresh details about a case that gripped the country. The Bryan Kohberger case reached its dramatic conclusion in an Idaho courtroom, drawing intense public scrutiny and media attention from across the United States. Kohberger, once a promising PhD student in criminology, shocked the nation when he pleaded guilty to the brutal murders of 4 University of Idaho students, young lives with bright futures senselessly cut short. The sentencing on July 23, 2025, brought a legal end to the proceedings. Yet, as the judge read the sentence, a haunting silence filled the courtroom. Kohberger offered no explanation, no apology, and no insight into his motives. He was handed 4 consecutive life sentences without the possibility of parole, ensuring that he will spend the rest of his life behind bars, never to walk free again. For the families of the victims and the wider public, the hope for answers remained unfulfilled. Instead, they were left with a chilling void, forced to grapple with the pain of not knowing why this tragedy occurred. Justice, in the eyes of the law, was served, but the absence of a clear motive left the community deeply unsettled, searching for meaning in the aftermath of such senseless violence. The tireless efforts of law enforcement and investigators brought resolution to the case, but for many, true closure remains elusive. The unanswered question of why continues to linger, casting a long shadow over the community and marking the beginning of a difficult, ongoing healing process for all those affected. On a cold November night in 2022, as most residents settled in for another quiet evening, something unimaginable was about to unfold. The small town of Moscow, Idaho, known for its close-knit community and peaceful streets, was forever changed by a single devastating event. 4 University of Idaho students, Madison Mogan, Kaylee Goncalves, Zana Kernodle, and Ethan Chapin, were found brutally murdered in their off-campus home, shattering the sense of safety that had defined the town for generations. The sheer brutality and apparent randomness of the crime sent shockwaves not just through Moscow, but across the entire nation, leaving families and friends in mourning and the community gripped by fear and uncertainty. After weeks of intense investigation involving local police, state authorities, and the FBI, Bryan Kohberger, a criminal justice graduate student, was arrested, his connection to the victims and motives still unclear. Kohberger's guilty plea spared the grieving families the agony of a lengthy and public trial, but it also meant that many questions about the case and about his reasons would remain unanswered and hidden from public view. While the community felt a sense of relief at the conviction, there was also frustration and sadness, knowing that the answers a public trial might have revealed would never come to light. For many in Moscow, the pain of not knowing why this tragedy happened lingers, leaving a heavy burden that may never fully lift. At sentencing, Judge Stephen Hippler gave Bryan Kohberger a final opportunity to address the court. This was his moment to speak directly to the families, the community, and everyone who had been affected by his actions. The room was silent, heavy with anticipation, as all eyes turned to him. The courtroom waited, hoping for an explanation, an apology, or even a hint of remorse. Family members, friends, and the public yearned for answers that might help them understand the tragedy that had shattered so many lives. But Kohberger simply said, "I respectfully decline," refusing to elaborate or offer any insight into his motive. His decision to remain silent left a void, deepening the mystery and pain for those seeking closure. For the victims' families, his silence was a final act of cruelty. It denied them the chance to hear why their loved ones were taken, and left them with questions that may never be answered. The emotional weight in the room was palpable. Judge Hippler addressed the community, urging them not to dwell on the unanswered motive. He warned that obsessing over the silence only gives Kohberger more power, and that true healing cannot come from understanding the incomprehensible. Instead, the judge called for the focus to return to the victims, their lives, their dreams, and the love they brought to those around them. The community was encouraged to honor their memory, rather than be haunted by the killer's refusal to explain. The legal system delivered justice, but the psychological wounds left behind are deep and enduring. The pain of not knowing may linger, but the strength of the community endures. In the end, it is the memory of the victims, their kindness, their laughter, and their spirit, that must be the legacy, not the mystery of their killer. Kohberger's silence echoed far beyond Idaho, reaching the national stage. The White House expressed frustration, echoing the public's anger and desire for answers. The case became a symbol of collective grief and the need for understanding. For law enforcement, a motive is crucial for preventing future crimes. Without it, the case remains a disturbing anomaly. For families, the lack of motive stalls healing and leaves the story incomplete. The public's search for a reason is a way to make sense of senseless violence. Without answers, the tragedy feels unresolved. The nation is left grappling with the unknown, searching for meaning. As the case closes, the focus shifts to healing for the families and the Moscow community. Life sentences provide safety, but not emotional closure. The town must rebuild trust and a sense of security, haunted by unanswered questions. The house where the murders occurred stands as a painful reminder. The refusal to explain denies the public and families the catharsis of understanding. The legacy of this case is the enduring question of why, and the challenge of moving forward without answers. The true tribute to the victims will be in remembering their lives, not the silence of their killer.